Today I will show you how to create this interesting fire effect in Photoshop. So let's roll that intro. Hey guys, it's Nemanja and welcome to another fun episode. Fire. It's all about a fire today. Fire is a really powerful and popular effect in Photoshop because you can apply it on a ton of images and make them much more fun and interesting like we will do it today. I already did one fire effect in Photoshop, it's called Burning Man effect, and if you want to check it out you can find the link right here. But today we will do something a little bit different. We will do different kind of fire effect and we will have a ton of fun doing it. And you will learn a bunch of interesting and useful tips and tricks. So sit back, relax and enjoy till the end of this episode. So let the fun begin. Okay guys, we will start with this image, and maybe to some of you this image looks familiar, and that's because we used it already to create this awesome frost effect in Photoshop, and in case you missed it you can find the link right here, so check it out. So today we will use exactly the same image but we will create a fire effect, so let's do it. Okay, first thing that you need to do is to extract part of the body that you want to apply this fire effect onto. And I already did this to save the time for this tutorial, as you can see right here. I already extracted left and right arm. And now I want to replace the skin with some other texture. I want to create a fact that the skin, that the arm, it's completely burned out. So we can use several different textures. We can use some ash texture, we can use some burning wood texture, we can use some dark rock texture. So everything is allowed. There are a lot of different ways how you can achieve the same effect. But today I will show you one really interesting technique how you can create a rock texture in Photoshop basically from scratch out of nothing. So let's do it. Okay, so first thing that you need to do is to create a new empty layer. I will rename this layer to rock texture. Okay, and I want to change my colors. I want to go and change my foreground color to something like this type of grayish color, right? And my background color a little bit darker than that, something like this. Let me see, maybe a touch darker. And that's it. Now I will go to filter, render clouds, and we will have this interesting clouds effect. But we are not done yet. We need to go to channels and create a new channel that will be named Alpha 1. It's automatic naming in Photoshop, so we can change the naming, but it doesn't matter at all. Now we have default colors, black and white, and we will repeat procedure. Go to render clouds, right? And then go to filter, render and difference clouds. And this is really nice. I will repeat this a few more times until I'm satisfied with the result. Not yet. Maybe one more time. This looks much better. So let's leave it like this. Let's go back to RGB, back to layers and to rock texture. Now the magic will happen. Look what we will do. We will go to filter, then render and then lighting effect. And lighting effect has several different options. You can use this spotlight and play with this. Still it doesn't look good. You can use point light, still it doesn't look good. Or you can use infinite light in newer version of Photoshop, in Photoshop CC 2018 for example. And still nothing happens. Why? Because we need to change the texture. We want to use that Alpha 1 texture that we created previously. And look what will happen when I click on Alpha 1. Bam! Really nice rock texture out of nothing in Photoshop. Isn't that great, guys? This is really nice way to create something like that. So you can change the light position and you will have different shadow position, etc. So I will just leave it probably something like this, and then you can play with the height if you want to have more contrast, like it's higher. Then you can play with the glossy effect, with the ambience effect, etc. So I will leave it a little bit darker like this, and we have a light intensity. So maybe something like this. We can always make it brighter later. So let's press OK, and that's it. We are done. We just created really nice and interesting rock texture, and we want to apply now this rock texture only on this left arm. So how to do that? Well, really easily. I will go to left arm, press Control or Command, click on that to load this as a selection. Go to rock texture and just click on layer mask. Now we have it. It's really nice, but it's not so good at all actually. Why? Because it's so flat and it's too big. So let's first make it smaller. Let's unlink this chain icon between the layer and the mask, click on the layer, press Ctrl or Command T and just make it smaller. Make it smaller like this. And this is, guys, much better already. I have a smaller texture, I like it. Now I need to dodge and burn it to add that 3D look, to have not just that really boring flat look. So how to do it? We can use dodge and burn technique and just make this pop into 3D, but we can do it much faster with something that we already have, and that's this left arm. We will duplicate it with Ctrl or Command J and put it all the way up, right here, make it visible. And now I want to make it black and white. So to turn it to black and white, just press Shift Ctrl U or Shift Command U on the Mac, and that's it, we are done. Now let's move it from normal to overlay blending mode, and as you can see, guys, this arm looks much better before and after. It's like we already did this dodge and burn technique. But now I can go even further. I can go and add levels, adjustment layer, clip it to affect only the left arm layer and just play with this. Add some even more contrast to it, like that. And then I can go and add a layer mask on left arm here and use a normal brush, really soft one, like this, and let's make it smaller, like this. And with something like 10, or let's leave it 10% opacity, I will just go and remove, or maybe 30% to make it faster. Just remove some parts, like these darker parts. I want to make them a little bit brighter because I want to open this a little bit. And now I can go and add even more things. I can add curves adjustment layer to make this rock texture much brighter. So let's clip it to affect that, and I can make it brighter if I want, as you can see, guys, but I don't want that bright, so maybe just a touch, we will see later. So we are almost done with that. Now we need to add something else, some glowing, burning lines on that texture. So how to do it? For that we need some cracks texture. Let's find it. Let's use this one. I will copy it and paste it back on this document. Now I will press Ctrl Command T and make it a lot smaller, something like this. Let me see. Probably like this. Press OK, and I want to invert this now. I will press Ctrl or Command I to invert it, and I will press Ctrl or Command L to lower the levels. So I want to make blacks even darker and whites even brighter. Something like this will be cool. All right, and just temporary, I will put this into screen blending mode to see what I'm doing, so to see where those lines will be on the skin. This is nice for a start. Okay, maybe to make it a little bit wider, just like that. And then I will make 2 more copies probably. So let's press Ctrl Command J once, okay, to make 1 copy. So for this part here, and let's press it 1 more time, and I will make a copy for this part right here. Okay, and now I will select all of 3 layers and press Ctrl or Command E to merge them down, and we are almost done. Now we want to turn this into a layer mask. So how to do that? It's really easy and simple, guys. You just need to have only this visible on the screen. So to do that, just press Alt or Option key and click on this eye icon on that layer, so it will be only that layer visible on the screen. Now go to channels and use any of red, green or blue channels, just drag it on the new channel layer, and that's it. You have that as a copy. Go back to layers, okay, and just again press Alt or Option key and click on the same eyeball icon here to reveal everything else. Now I will hide this, okay, and create a new layer. Just create a new layer, and I will clip that layer to affect only everything down below. You will see why. Now I will go back to channels and press Ctrl or Command and click on the blue copy channel to load it as a selection. Go back to layers and click on a new layer mask while this new empty layer is active, so like this, and that's it. Now everything that we paint on this layer will only be affecting those white lines that we made. So now I'll use a brush. I will change the color to red, or maybe something like reddish, something like this, right? And I will go 100% opacity and paint like this, as you can see, guys. So let's make it bigger, and I will make those really nice effect, like it's burning inside this burned out skin. So this is really nice addition to this effect. So we are on halfway to be done with this. Okay, now it's time to add some fire on this arm, but before that let me show you one more trick how you can make those lines even more believable. So let's do it. Let's zoom it a little bit to see that those lines are just lines, normal lines on that burning out texture, and you can even change paint with different color. You can even use some more orangey color and change maybe opacity to 50% and make some variation of that, just like that, or even use brighter, more yellowish, and just add some variation of the color if you want. That's just addition like this, all right? But we can make this a little bit more interesting by going to this lines layer, okay, and go back to filter, render, and lighting effect. And now by using exactly the same texture alpha 1, okay, we can just play with this. As you can see how it looks now, it looks like normal, but now it has some dimension to it. So I will press OK, and you will see before and after. It's a little bit more interesting, and I like it this way. So we can go back and maybe just paint everything with the red like this, and basically we are done. Alright guys, this is the effect. If you're not satisfied, you can duplicate this and put it down here to have a little bit more pronounced effect, and maybe remove it from the edges here, okay, with layer mask, and from some parts here, but some parts will be more pronounced. Alright, and maybe this I want 30% brush, and just remove it a little bit. Those are small variation, guys. You can play with this and you will see what suits better for your taste and your needs. Depends on what kind of image are you using. All right, now we are almost done with this. Basically this effect, it's over. I will now group everything, click on the first one and on the last one layer that is making this effect, and just press Ctrl or Command G and rename this to maybe left arm. Okay, and this is before and this is after. Now it's time to add some fire. So let's go and find some fire. Let's use this one for a start. Copy it here, and let me see. Let's make it smaller. Control Command T, make it a lot smaller. Press OK, and I will put below the left arm layers. So just below that, put it in a screen blending mode like this, and press Control Command L to remove those blacks a little bit more. Okay, and now as you can see, we can just play with this. We can make it bigger or smaller, however we want. I will put it here on a thumb, like it's burning thumb from the back. Okay, then go and find another fire layer, probably this one. Go back, paste it right here, make it smaller, and again put it in a screen blending mode like this, and just find proper size and position where you want to have this as an effect. So maybe here I right click and go to warp tool, and I can just play with some warp tool right here. Something like this is not bad. Of course you can use different fire images. I will provide you with this one, so you can go to check out the description and go download all those files that I'm using today. But you can go and find even more interesting fire photos to use for your project. So this is really nice for now. Okay, I can always refine it later. Let me see. This is this one, maybe like that. Just nudge it a little bit more like that. Okay, now let's use another fire. Let me see. This one looks nice. Yeah, let's use this one. We didn't use it any. Let's go right here, paste it above everything, make it smaller like this. Okay, and put it in a screen blending mode. Let me see. I will put it here somewhere. Something like this. I don't know, make it even smaller. And I can warp it a little bit. So have something like it's burning this part of the hand too. Let's press OK, and I will go and apply layer levels again. Control Command L, and just make the blacks darker and maybe whites a little bit brighter, just a touch. And this is it. This is first arm almost ready. We can now go to left arm group, make a new layer mask, and go with the brush with a really soft one like this, and with maybe 30 or so % opacity, just remove parts of the fact. If you want to reveal part of the arm, if you want to show that not whole arm is burned out, maybe just started from fingers and it's going down here. So this is not bad too. Okay guys, now it's time to do exactly the same for our right arm. So exactly the same steps. I will fast forward everything because I don't want to waste your time watching this, or I don't want to make tutorials so long. It's completely the same, exactly the same. So I will be back after I apply this effect. Alright guys, and that's it. I just finished my right arm. It's completely the same procedure like I did with the left arm. You just need to follow exactly the same steps and you're done. Now we will add another interesting element in between the arms. We will add the glowing fireball. So I will use exactly the same steps that I did in my tutorial how to create planets with just one click. You can find that tutorial right here. I will use exactly the same steps to create that planet, actually that glowing fireball. So let me show you how it's done. Okay, first let's find a texture for a planet. This is the texture for our glowing fire planet. I will make a copy of it, just pressing Ctrl Command J like this, and I will invert it with Ctrl or Command I. So I will have something like this. And then I will go and add one adjustment layer, and that's a gradient map like this. And I will change to something like this. And instead of blue color, I will use black color. And I will move this a little bit there, and oops, not that, but this small icon. So I just want to make this a little bit darker. So this is our texture. I will press OK and hide this. So now I will press Shift Control Alt E or Shift Command Option E on a Mac to merge everything into a new layer, to have it as a new layer like this. And now we need to create a planet out of this texture. So it's basically just one click. I will show how to do it. Go to 3D and go to New Mesh from Layer, Mesh Preset, and go to Sphere. And that's it. Just, I don't want to go to 3D Workspace right now because I don't need it. I will stay in my workspace. I will hide all other layers. And as you can see, we have our crazy planet. Actually, it's a planet. If you don't have a 3D option in Photoshop, go check out that tutorial how to create planet with just one click. I showed first another technique that you can use it instead of this in case you don't have a 3D, so check that out. Alright, now I will just make this planet a little bit brighter. I will go to Properties panel here and just make this a little bit brighter. It's much easier if you switch to 3D workspace, but for this I didn't want to bother with that, and I will uncheck the shadows because I don't need shadows. So that's it, that's our planet, and I can render it, but for this I will just go right click and say rasterize 3D. So I'll have this as a layer. I will now copy this and go back to our document and paste it right here. Make it smaller like this, right? And put it somewhere in between those two arms. So you can decide how big this you want to have as a ball, and that's it guys. We are almost done. Now we need to put a fire on this. So let's go back and choose some fire. Let's use this fire photo, paste it right here, make it smaller, Control Command T, just like this, put it in a screen blending mode, and right click, warp it, just warp it around here, just like this. That's nice. So that's one. I will make a copy of this by pressing Control or Command J, press Control Command T, and just flip horizontal, move it right here and flip vertical like this. And then I can zoom it, let me see. I can go right click, warp it a little bit, so play with that. And we're almost done. Just a few more tweaks like this. And guys, I can now group all 3 layers. Let me see, yeah, all 3 layers, press Ctrl Command G and name it Fireball. Okay, this is our Fireball, really strangely spelled like this. And I can now move this and make it bigger, smaller. I can go even inside and make this brighter with the curves if I want, just the ball like this, not bad. And I want to move this a little bit. I just want to go back, Ctrl Command T, warp, just to populate this part even more. Like this, why not? So this is our Fireball, guys. And now what I like to do, I want to add some fire from the hands towards the Fireball. So how to do it? Just go and find again proper fire photos. So I will use this one and just paste it right here, make it smaller, Ctrl Command T, rotate. I'll first go from this hand like this, put into screen blending mode and go to warp and just warp it however you want. Okay, something like this. I'll press OK, Control Command L to go with the blacks a little bit like this. Press OK, and now we'll put a layer mask on it and just with really soft brush, some small, maybe 30% opacity, just remove some parts here, right? Let me see, I just want this pinky finger to not be affected by this, so maybe even more like this, and maybe 70% opacity. That's nice. So I just don't want this. That's great. I can go again to Control Command. Let's just unlink this. Control Command T and warp it to move this even closer to the ball. And then I will repeat the same, but put it on this arm here. I will paste again the same texture, make it smaller, put it somewhere here, put it in a screen blending mode. A lot of steps here are repeatable, so we will do something several times. I will just position this as I want it. Something like this will be cool. Then Control Command L, just with those blacks, play a little bit like this. And I will just remove this from this left hand. So let's go on the left arm and find our left arm layer mask. We can use this one. I will just press Control and click on it and go back to our fire and just click on the layer mask and invert it with Control Command I. So that's it. We have that fire. Let me see. It's really nice effect. So now we can play with this. We can make it smaller, wider, narrower, however we want. Maybe something like this, just not too big. And then I can go back and play with those fires right here. Maybe this is too much for this effect. Maybe I would just make it smaller. That's just, guys, a matter of tweaking and playing with the elements. Let me see. Maybe I just want it here and maybe here. So maybe like this. Let me see. Unzoom it to see this better. This looks really nice. I like to go to this one, press Control Command L and make this brighter. Something like this. So we are almost done. We just need to add some lighting effect and do final color grading, and we're finished with this image. So let's do it. Let's create a new empty layer at the top of all other layers and change it from normal to color dodge blending mode. And now I will use a brush, really soft one, maybe like 20% opacity, and I will use red color, right? Start with red, and I will just paint right here. Add that reddish tone, maybe a little bit here, but here from a fire, reddish color, right? Then I will sample this yellowish tone a little bit there, here, maybe a little bit here. Okay. Then again, that reddish tone, let's sample it. Something like this, maybe here a little bit, but like that, and a little bit more, 10% with this yellowish right here. Don't worry about this hand, we will delete the effect from this hand. It's crazy right now, I know, but it is how it is. So maybe just a little bit right here, and let me see. And let's finish it with this. Now let's go down there and find our left arm mask. So this is it. And I will click on it and go back up and just delete the effect from this arm. So that's it, I just deleted. And now I can just paint a little bit of that effect here. Just a little bit. And I can go make a layer mask and remove that effect from here. Why not? Okay, maybe add it back and paint something here. And basically, guys, this is it. This is before adding light, after, before and after. Really nice effect. We can add some more if we want. We can even change this from color dodge to overlay if this is better for you, maybe. But I will go back to color dodge. You can even go and add a new empty layer and put it in a soft light or overlay and just add a little bit more of these effects here, and I'm finished with that. I will not tweak this anymore. I can sit maybe half an hour more and tweak some small details, etc. But I will stop here. Now I will merge everything into a new layer with Shift Control Alt T or Shift Command Option E on a Mac like this. This is the final layer. I will go to filter and camera raw filter, and here do final color grading. That's it. So let's add a little bit of the contrast, right? Open shadows a little bit and close the blacks. Go with the clarity and the haze just a touch. And then I like to go to split toning. So I like to make shadows more bluish. I like that combination of blue and orangey reddish look. So like this, but I want to make highlights even warmer. So something, let me see, something like this is cool. So let me see, before and after. Yeah. Now let's go and add a small vignette here. Okay, and I like to go to calibration and just boost the saturation of reds. I want to decrease the saturation of greens. As you can see, I will have this kind of effect, but I will boost blues. So I'll have this, so before and after. I love it. And if you want, you can go more towards the red or more towards the yellow, depends what kind of effect you want to achieve. I will just leave it right here. I want to sharpen it a little bit. Let me see, like this, and this is cool, so like that. Then go back here and just, let me see, this is good. So I will press OK. And this is, guys, before and after, final effect. I really love it. Alright guys, and that's it for today for this fire effect in Photoshop. I really hope that you like it and that you learn a bunch of new and interesting things from today's tutorial. In case you find this helpful and you like it, press that like button because it really matters. Share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel if you're not already, and ring that bell button to get notified about all the future episodes. Right guys, if you want to support me, if you want to help me to make this channel even bigger and better, check out my Patreon page, all the details are there, and you will get some things in return too, so we can hang out there too. Right, if you have some questions regarding to this episode, please leave them in the comments down below. I will be glad to answer them. And have fun, practice, make your own version of this photo, put it on Instagram, tag me, I will check it out. See you guys in the next fun episode. Bye bye.